Hey, what's up, guys? This is your boy Travis back again here at Big Boy Toy Reviews. And today we are taking a look at celebrating 85 years Marvel Legends series Wolverine. I think this is first appearance Wolverine. Am I right about that? Didn't he first appear with the Incredible Hulk? I think that's who this is. Based on the suit. I think this is first appearance Wolverine. If I'm wrong, let me know. But yeah, so I've been told this is the best Wolverine, but it's the best Marvel Legends Wolverine. We'll say that. And I don't know. I somewhat agree and somewhat don't agree. But I can see why people would think that it is. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the box really quick. Not much going on with these boxes. I wish this was the head that they gave us, but they didn't give us that head. I mean, it's shaped like that head. It's in the same shape, but it's not the right color. But there's not too much to the box. I don't know why you even show the boxes half the time. But yeah, here's the figure. Obviously, I'm a little late to this review as well. I mean, look, I don't buy my Marvel Legends on Hasbro Pulse, so I can get them early. I don't really like Marvel Legends that much to have to get them that early. If you are used to my channel, you know I am more of a high-end action figure collector. I say mid to high-end action figure collector. So it's rare that I get Marvel Legends, but when I do, I typically try to skew in the realm of the better ones. And I heard this one was pretty good, and so I wanted to go ahead and snatch it up. $25 compared to what I normally pay for an action figure. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, so this face, I am not getting as much of that Uncanny Valley feel from this face. It does have a lot of realism to it, but I feel like he's pulling it off better than most. But I still don't like the face that much. And objectively, it's a good sculpt. It actually really is. I even like, is there like a semi 5 o'clock shadow on him? I can't really tell. I mean, the mutton chops look pretty good. The hair looks pretty good. I don't know if I just don't. I have yet to see anybody nail a Wolverine maskless face more than Mafex has. I mean, they just nailed it with their Wolverine faceless mask or maskless face. Because this is fine. This is probably, I would, at least from what I've seen. Now, like I said, I don't have a lot of Marvel Legends Wolverines. This is the best Marvel Legends Wolverine head sculpt that I have in my collection. I really like the way that they did the hair on the arms. Now that I appreciate the utmost. They unfortunately didn't do it on the inside, so they half-assed it there, as Marvel Legends, as Hasbro tends to do. But the hair that's there is really good on the arms, surprisingly really good. And actually the paint, the blue paint and the yellow paint, or is this painted in yellow? Is this cast in blue and painted yellow? I'm not sure. But the paint that is there is decent. You see some bleeding there from the blue to the yellow. But for Marvel Legends, I think this is pretty solid. I'm glad they sculpted this area here. Thank you. Nice lines. They have nice lines in it that are actually sculpted, and they sculpted his boots. They seem to do this for Wolverine and Wolverine only. They'll sculpt his boots, but won't sculpt anybody else's boots. Rarely sculpt anybody else's boots, I should say. But yeah, he looks really good, I will say. He's a bit on the shiny side, but it's not overly shiny. I mean, the belt looks really, I mean, this is solid. This is solid. I like his claws. The paint on the gloves is decent. This looks like they painted yellow with blue here, but that makes more sense. There's somebody's hair or something in the molding. I don't know. Yeah, I think he looks good. I think he looks good, and I think he looks even better with the other head sculpt. I would never display my Wolverine with the mask off face. It's just not how, oh, also I want to talk about his proper bulkiness. He is properly bulky. He is this, I can tell this is clearly a different buck than the last Wolverines. He's properly muscular. He's thicker here. He's thicker in the shoulders too. So I do like that. I do think that they kind of hide the squattiness of how their bucks typically are with these shoulder pads, so they don't look as bad. But I think if you took these shoulder pads off, it would look like his shoulders sit way too low. And I still think they still fit too low. Because why? Because Hasbro. That's why. They seem to have issues with anatomy. Even when they create a whole new buck, they still somehow don't know how anatomy works. So that's unfortunate, because this is like a really good buck for Wolverine. And all they had to do is just tweak it slightly. Even like he's properly short. You really didn't need to do much but get those shoulders up more. You get those damn shoulders up, you would have the perfect Wolverine buck. But unfortunately, they don't understand that, even though 1,000 people have probably told them. But anyway, let's get on to the accessories. Alrighty, so for accessories, we do get two hands without the claws in them. We get this wide open pair of hands, and we get a pointy hand, or nose picking hand, booger picking hand. And then we get two punchy fists with no claws in them. So that's good for that. And then we get the really good head sculpt. Now this I like a lot. Like this one a lot. This one looks really good. This looks really good. Obviously I can even write off some of the bad paint blemishes here at the top where the brow is. I can dismiss that just based off of how good this looks. This looks really good. But yeah, and that's it for accessories. That's all he has. Let's do the articulation. Alrighty, so for articulation, the head only looks up this much because Hasbro doesn't know how to do double ball pegs. This is what they do. They give you a gigantic ball peg, and then they give you this much room to move it around, and they sink it way down deep into the chest, into the neck. And so it's probably a pretty lengthy ball peg, a double ball peg, or dumbbell peg, however you want to call it. But because they sink it so far down into the chest and then don't give you hardly any move to room, and then if they sink it down into the chest, and then they give you this gigantic ball peg, which then leaves no room for it to move around in that hole. So if they made it smaller, and if they made it smaller and gave you more room to use the barbell portion of the neck of the actual joint, then he would be able to look up more. I recently did a review. What was that? What figure was that? I need to look back and see which one that was that had a really good dumbbell joint in the neck or in the head that could look way up. But Hasbro doesn't want to do that. And so you get limited in his neck because Hasbro doesn't know how to make a double ball peg. But that's as much range as you're going to get out the head. A little gummy on the shoulders. He doesn't go up horizontal, which is unfortunate. Bicep swivel, obviously. He does have the butterfly joint that you can move way back and not at all forward, really. So they seem to never really do anything forward. These move around, so they did do this correct. The way these shoulder pads are, it moves with the shoulder. So that's perfect. That was really good on them for doing it that way. Double jointed elbow, obviously over 90. Hinged wrist pegs. So this one, I don't know how I feel about this new system of the upper torso cut and then the ab crunch. I don't know how I feel about that because they never have a waist twist. So you eliminate the waist twist in order to have this ab crunch, and the twist is up here, but that twist it's not ever going to look good. Like, yeah, it's functional, but it's never going to look good. So why not? There's been some figures I've seen with this ab crunch system and also still has a waist joint. So I don't know why they can't do that. I can't think of any right now at the top of my head, but I know I've seen it and I probably own it. But yeah, this is about as far back as he's gonna get, which is not very far. Then forward with the ab crunch, that's about as far as you're gonna get, which is fine. You get some movement out of the top here. I just don't like that they hold the twist up here. I'm not a fan of that. As far as legs, he gets good splits, really good splits there. Good job, Wolverine. You should be agile like that. Kicks forward, not quite horizontal, or not quite as vertical, I guess. No, horizontal's right. It's not 90 degrees, I don't think. I can't really tell. Nothing going back because of the butt cheeks. We got a thigh swivel. Double jointed knee, goes over 90. No boot swivel there. We go up that much, down that much, and then a solid ankle rocker. Does veer off to the side a little bit, but you can twist the leg around a little bit to get it. You shouldn't have to do too much to it. So it's all right. It's okay. The articulation is just okay. I don't like that we don't have a waist twist, especially since he has this belt. It can easily be covered up by that waist twist can easily be covered up by this belt. I would have rather they just did this cutout here and then did made this your main pivot point for when you want to ab crunch, when you want to do the ab crunch, which you can do with just this joint, and then have the waist twist down here so you can actually cover it up with this belt. But instead you got this, which is just not ideal if you ask me. But anyway, let's go on to some comparisons. Alrighty, so here he is next to the previous best Wolverine, the X-Men 97 Wolverine. And as you can see, the bucks are quite different. You can see the shoulders on this one are much more thicker. He's actually taller, which is not ideal. This height is ideal, obviously. He's a little bit too tall on this one, so they kind of fudged it on that. Obviously, his arms are much thicker. Don't worry about that terrible paint job I did on this one. I was experimenting, but obviously Hasbro did it much better than I did. Yeah, his arms are much thicker on this buck. His legs look thicker to me. Yeah, these are definitely different legs. I think these look thicker to me. I think the boots are the same. The boots are different. The boots are different too. Interesting. You can tell here how this one comes up to a point and this one doesn't really. So it looks good. Yeah, this Wolverine is better than I thought. This one was pretty good for Hasbro, but they outdid themselves with this one. This one looks good, then. This one looks good. Anyway, that's what he looks with that Wolverine. Or that's how he looks with that Wolverine. Alright, and here he is next to Miss Marvel and Spiral. And as Spiral's tall, but Miss Marvel should be taller than him. And see, he's too tall. He's a little bit too tall. He should be shorter. But obviously you can fudge it when you pose him, but Miss Marvel should definitely be taller than Wolverine. In my opinion. I believe that's correct. I think Wolverine is supposed to be like 5'3". All right, so in conclusion, yeah, he is the best Marvel Legends Wolverine, hands down. I will say this though, he definitely ain't better than the Mafex Wolverine. Ain't nothing messing with that Mafex Wolverine. I'm telling y'all that right now. There is no Wolverine out there yet that is better than any of the Mafex Wolverines. And that's just fact. That's just fact. But he is the best Marvel Legends Wolverine. So I will say that. So I do think he's worth getting if you don't have any other Wolverines. Really, that's really the only reason I would say to get this Wolverine. Or unless you just want a better Wolverine, unless he's going to like replace whatever existing Wolverine that you have, then I would say he's worth getting. But $25. I got a lot. I got what? I got two. I think I have 4 Wolverines now. About to have 5 in the next review, which that one I really don't give a damn about. But so, and I just weigh out my Wolverines, so it is what it is. The only Wolverine that I'm missing is a brown suit Wolverine. I do not have the Mafex brown suit Wolverine, and I don't have a Marvel Legends brown suit Wolverine because I dropped the ball on both. But anyway, that's it for the review. Comment, like, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.